For head coach Kirk Ferentz and the rest of his Iowa coaching staff, today's loss to Tennessee was absolutely demoralizing. One thing that these fans were looking for and waiting for was a Hawkeye marching band that traveled all the way from Iowa City, and they arrived yesterday, and man, did they not disappoint here at the pep rally. When thinking about farming in the United States, and especially in Iowa, you may think corn or soybeans, or how about pigs or cows? But here at Striegel Farms in Oskaloosa, Iowa, they maintain something else, and it's ostriches. Yeah, ostriches that come out of these big eggs.
Oh, we started with ostriches in '93. Ostrich, or products we get from the ostriches is the meat. The meat is red, low in cholesterol, low in fat, and high in protein. It's 97% fat-free.
While Marion mainly handles the meat in the operation, his wife Marge loves to get creative with her products, especially with the empty ostrich eggs.
Yeah, the eggshells, Marge engraves on them. She's got a high-speed engraving tool that she can engrave, just like writing with a pencil. You know, there's no torque to it. It's just writing on that eggshell's got drawings and scrimshaw, and you can paint on them.
And while buying or eating some of these ostrich products may seem different or odd to some, Marion remains confident in the fact that more and more people are starting to utilize ostriches more in their everyday lives.
Oh, there are very few people, but there's getting to be more and more of them. We have, at the farmers market, we have new people coming in every week. But a lot of repeats, or people are starting to repeat.
Raising and taking care of ostriches is something that not a lot of people would ever wish for. But for Marion and Marge, the only thing that they wish is that they would have known about ostriches sooner.
If we would have known about the ostrich 20 years ago, we'd have a lot more. That wouldn't be a problem. I like them. He likes them.
Kirk Ferentz and his Hawkeyes traveled to Camp Randall today in a huge Big Ten West matchup with Wisconsin for the Heartland Trophy. Deacon Hill made his homecoming back to Wisconsin, but the offensive plan for Iowa was simple: run the ball and get it into LaShawn Bogey Williams' hands. Unfortunately for the Hawks, Eric All would go down with a serious knee injury in the first quarter and wouldn't return back to the game. But just 4 minutes into the second quarter, LaShawn Williams made one-man miss and then took it 82 yards all the way to the house, making it 7-0 Hawkeyes early in this one.
The O-line really opened it up. It was like a big old hole. Once again, one of y'all could have ran through it. But so it was just being patient, slow through. So I just hit it, and then I had to make two guys, I think it was stiff arm or something, and after that, just got to run.
The offensive line would show out, helping produce 200 rushing yards on the day, with Williams having 174 of those yards.
I think I've said I feel like our line is gaining ground the last couple of weeks, and I thought today they played with a lot of toughness and a lot of confidence. I think they're improving.
Wisconsin would then score 2 field goals, making it 7-6 before Drew Stevens would answer, pushing Iowa's lead to 10-6 at the start of the fourth quarter. In terrible field position, Badgers backup quarterback Braden Locke would be sacked in his own end zone by Y.A. Black for a safety, making it 12-6 Iowa. With just under 2 minutes left in the game, Drew Stevens would put the nail in the coffin, nailing a 40-yard field goal that would win the game, with the Hawkeyes picking up the 15-6 win and becoming bowl eligible with a 6-1 record.
And although the Hawkeyes only managed to have 37 yards through the air, it was a gutsy, all-out performance here at Camp Randall, and this now puts the Hawkeyes atop of the Big Ten West standings, and they are in the driver's seat when it comes to getting to Indianapolis come December. Next up for the Hawkeyes, the Minnesota Golden Gophers come to visit Kinnick Stadium, and like Kirk Ferentz always says, they need to take it one game at a time. Now, Michael, this might seem lazy, but give me the whole damn Hawkeye squad. I've had enough hearing about how badly Michigan is going to beat the Hawkeyes come Saturday. I've heard all the talking heads say that Michigan is a lock to beat Iowa, and me personally, I'm not having any of that, and let me tell you why. Sure, the Hawkeyes aren't coming into this game this Saturday with a lot of offensive firepower, but let's stop and give Kirk and the Cardiac Kids some credit for once. Regardless of who the opponents are, the Hawks are coming into the game on a 4-game winning streak and didn't lose a game, like you mentioned, Michael, in the whole month of November. And yeah, a lot of the talking heads have Michigan by a landslide, but I'm just a little disgusted as to why none of them are giving any credit to our defense led by Phil Parker, the best defensive coordinator and defensive back coach in the country. If you don't agree with me, then at me, Max_VG, go right ahead. A top 10 defense in terms of total defense offense, and let's be honest here, and you all know that I never lie, he is the reason why Iowa is heading to Indy this Saturday. If Iowa doesn't have the mastermind that is Coach Parker, I'm saying we might be 3-10 on the year. I thought Iowa was playing the Volunteers, not the Gators.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Iowans weekly pregame show and your #1 source for Hawkeye sports. And we're doing this one across Orlando. And Max, right now we're on a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, we're on a Ferris wheel, and it's kind of scary up here, but we're going to have all the coverage that you need before Iowa takes on Tennessee in this year's Citrus Bowl.
That's interesting, Colin, but for my player to watch, I'm choosing none other than Jay Higgins. Sounds familiar? Well, I did that on purpose. Like I mentioned earlier for Hawkeye Highlight, Higgins is now, in my opinion, Iowa's best player on the defensive side of the ball. Whether he's filling gaps to stop the run or back in pass coverage, Higgins has emerged as one of the best linebackers in the country. Last game out against Rutgers, Higgins led Iowa's defense with 8 tackles, 2 of those being solo tackles. I think he's going to have a big day on Saturday. Look for him to have close to 15 tackles. Hawk, 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 Michael. That's what his dad says, isn't it?
Every time.
And for my score prediction for this Saturday, I'm taking the Hawks all day, every day. I have the Hawks winning in a close one, 17-14. But now let's toss it to Ben, who's in Champaign, to hear his predictions for this Saturday.
Whether it's Herky the Hawk riding into some AC/DC, fans spelling out IOWA at the top of their lungs, or nearly 70,000 strong waving up at the Children's Hospital, historic Kinnick Stadium is home to some of the best traditions in all of college sports. And now, fans should be excited to welcome a new tradition into Kinnick, Der Wiener Slinger, a gigantic hot dog gun.
This one's been about a year and a half in the making, and so we've got a great relationship with the University of Iowa, and we thought what a better fit to bring the Der Wiener Slinger to a place like Iowa.
Iowa Athletics and Wimmer's Wieners are bringing Der Wiener Slinger to Kinnick Stadiums on Saturday for fans that are in the front row and 20 yards away.
The 30 by 10 inch Der Wiener Slinger is a compressed air-powered hot dog launcher that will be operated by the school's Spirit Squad. And while it might look like a real hot dog, mustard and ketchup are not included.
But in the locker room back there, what they're trying to focus on is trying to figure out how they're going to say goodbye to a star-studded senior class.
But my thoughts are really with these players and just the stories that they are, especially our senior class. It's been a great group of guys, and Joe's representative of that. Just hardworking guys that really care about the right things.
You think about a guy like Joe Evans, his last game here, and you just think about someone who just goes to work every single day. Started as a walk-on, started as just like a dude that nobody really gave a chance to, honestly.
And while some of the seniors weren't the biggest names coming out of high school, the impact they made as leaders in the locker room will help for years to come.
You know, people get good through hard work, through detail, perseverance. You know, not every day is a great day. You know, that's how you get good at anything. And so with guys, Joe, Tori, I can go right down to all these guys as seniors. Yeah, that's the bar that they've set, and they've been really good examples for our young guys. Just hope, like Kel, the young guys are paying attention. Some pay attention a little better than not.
And although this was a bittersweet send-off to the senior class, Hawkeye fans should remember them for all that they did this year. Winning 10 games and winning the Big Ten West and having a lot of injuries and a lot of controversy around the program.
And earlier, Iowa tight end Luke Lachey announced that he will return next season to the Iowa football roster after missing a big chunk of this season due to a broken ankle.
Yeah, you know, I think it's really just about leaving a legacy. That's something that I've always kind of dreamed about. And, you know, I felt like, you know, if I came back, I could have a big impact there. And, you know, it's also being able to play with, you know, your brothers for another season. I don't think there's much anything better than that.
And although Lachey announced that he will be returning next season, there's still a couple players on this Iowa squad, including Cooper DeJean and Sebastian Castro, just to name a few, that are still undecided. And Lachey is going to try his best to recruit them to come back next season.
Oh, all of them. I don't know. Whoever wants to. You know, I'm gonna recruit them in any way I can, but ultimately it's up to them and whatever's best for their future. Yeah, just trying to get some other guys back now, and you know, just trying to make the best team possible for next year.
And although this is a great improvement for next season, there's still a lot of questions regarding how Iowa's offense is going to improve from this year to next year, and who's going to be the offensive coordinator. One thing that Gary Dolphin reiterated to these fans is that they better show up in numbers to Camping World Stadium on New Year's Day against the Tennessee Volunteers. From the Point in Orlando, Florida, Max von Gries, DI TV Sports. So when you come and visit Kinnick Stadium this fall, be sure not only keep your eyes open, but also your hands up, because you might have a hot dog coming your way. From Kinnick Stadium, Max von Gries, DI TV Sports. From downtown Orlando, Florida, Max von Gries, DI TV Sports.